Hello, hello.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
How's it going, everybody? Mr. Rasta came in. Saludos, mi amigo. ¿Cómo estás? Welcome to everybody who's here. Sorry we're about a minute late. Welcome to whoever is out there.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
So I'm just hopping on the phone so I can open up like a moderator chat. So don't mind me. We want to wait a couple minutes for everybody to filter in. Hopefully we'll have a nice crowd tonight.
Hello,
Itzy. What's
Hola.
going on? Hola, hola. Hola todos. Welcome. Very happy to have you guys here. I'm just opening up my phone.
Hi, Cindy K. Hello.
Welcome. Very happy to have you guys here. Here we go. Excellent.
Have
you guys here. All right, we're working. Cindy, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Hi, everybody. Oh, we got 4 people on. All right.
Awesome. Can you guys hear us okay? We're using these microphones. Hopefully the audio's coming in all right. Just let us know whenever you get the chance.
Yes, you sound good, Cindy K said. Thank you so much for letting us know, Cindy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. We are so happy to have you all here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here.
Yes, great to hear from everybody. Oh, Charles Bronson, what's going on in here? Well, now we got a party now that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Very happy to have you guys. Excellent. So we might just wait like another 2 minutes while people are filtering in. While we go about this, obviously the title of the video is
Oh, sorry.
Hola, I'm in Michoacan too. Mano. Welcome.
Welcome.
I can't say that word, rabbit. Welcome, Mr. Rabbit. Mr. or Mrs. Rabbit.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome. Sorry, I'm not good in Spanish and I'm not good in English. It's just what I have to deal with. But guys, so this is going to be our personal experience comparing Morelia to San Luis Potosí. Now, keep in mind, as always, you guys can ask whatever questions you want. And if for any reason we don't hit those questions right away, we will catch up to those questions. And the reason we're doing this live is because we actually had more than one subscriber ask to see this particular comparison. I'm Chicano, no worries. Okay, cool, sounds good. You're on vacation, all right. Well, welcome, welcome. We're very happy to have each and every single one of you guys here. Very happy to be here.
Before we start, are you a Filipino, bro?
No, not a Filipino by any means. I am Italian and Scottish, but I have something called man tan on, so it actually makes me look a little darker. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's the shaved head. Not sure. You'd be surprised. Somebody like me, you think in Mexico with this beautiful, hot, sunny weather, I'd have a tan? No, no tan. So I gotta put the fake stuff on.
So before we start, has anybody been to either San Luis Potosí or Morelia?
That's a good question.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been, maybe you could tell us where you're from or where you are, if you would like to share that with us.
Yeah, guys, let us know. Have you ever been to San Luis Potosí or Morelia? Have you ever been to either of those places? And if so, what was your experience?
Hi,
Skip, welcome. Hola,
I'll
hola.
be in Morelia next month. First time in Mexico. Woo! Cindy K!
Cindy is coming to Morelia. Get out of here. Sorry, guys. We're so excited. Oh, man. We might have to take a trip back from where we're going because we're going to be missing you, Cindy.
Wow.
We're actually heading out of Morelia very soon. But we may have to make a trip back in case you want to get a coffee or something.
I've been to...
I look like The Rock, too. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
It's not the best place, but I heard San Luis Potosí is there. Okay, the satirical rabbit?
So the satirical rabbit, we'll just say it like that. I've been to Morelia before. It's not the best place, but I've heard San Luis is better. Oh, well, I'm very happy we're going to have this live so we can give our personal experience on that. Cindy K asks, when will you be gone? Oh, we are going to be leaving within the next few days. Very, very soon, unfortunately. Skip gave a shout out to Cindy K saying bravo. Yes, bravo, Cindy.
For the whole month.
Yeah, we're going to be gone for the whole month.
And for a while.
We're going to be gone, unfortunately, for quite a while because we're going to be taking a trip. I'm not going to be saying where. It's a surprise. We will be letting you guys know. And then we're going to be taking a trip to the U.S. to visit our family. So we're going to be visiting the U.S. for a few months. Oh, Cindy.
Rabbit is pretty simply to pronounce.
Okay. Rabbit. Perfect. Thank you. But Cindy, when you get here, please let us know. And if we can come back to meet you and hang out, that would make, I think, our lives. I think we would love that. If we can do it.
Hola, Gringos R Us!
Gringos R Us! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very happy to have Gringos R Us in the house. We had the privilege of hopping on their live just yesterday, and that was a fantastic live. Charles Bronson, we're in the States. We may hit up a couple of different states, but definitely a couple of different states, but definitely New York City.
That's where we're from. Well, both upstate and the city. So see both our families.
Yeah. So we'll be bopping around New York. Oh.
Hi, guys.
Gringos R Us says, hi, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, Gringos. We're very happy to see you both. And man, we had so much fun on their live the other day. That was a fantastic live as always.
Have you ever been to Hanitsu? Yes. We will, Rabbit, we'll talk about that later. That's a whole nother story about Hanitsu.
Yeah.
We had experience.
So, Rabbit, yes, we have been to Hanitsu.
Boston.
Let me write, Boston in the house, no doubt. Let me get a piece of paper and a pen so I can write down the comments that we'll touch on later so I don't forget.
So we have 11 people on right now. Okay, great.
Yeah, very happy to have you.
So everybody, we're going to get into our video. So you want to know about Hanitsu?
Okay.
Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the difference or some similarities between San Luis Potosí and Morelia. So I made a list.
Now, maybe I can say something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So before, I just want you guys to keep in mind, this was our experience in San Luis. Don't forget to thumbs up. Don't worry, Cindy, we're not going to forget. If you got any questions, we're going to write them down. But this was our experience. So for example, Gringos R Us, they just came from San Luis Potosí, and you have a whole bunch of other people out there who've been to San Luis Potosí. The two travelers in Mexico, for example, they've been to San Luis. Hit the like button for these fine folks. Thank you so much, Charles Bronson. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for those likes. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so you have other YouTubers out there who've been to San Luis Potosí. This is just our experience. We can't speak for everybody else. Everyone might have a different experience. So please, I just wanted to give that disclaimer.
No, that's true. So not the biggest thing. I think that the first thing I actually wrote down was that, I don't know if you'll agree, but I think you will, is that San Luis Potosí, I think, is cleaner.
San Luis was extremely clean and well kept. Extremely clean. Unbelievably clean.
Very clean, yeah. Not to say that Morelia is dirty, it's just not as clean.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
On the cleanliness scale, San Luis was, you could like eat off the floor. Morelia, you probably would think twice. It's not the dirtiest place by any means, Morelia. And of course, there's different parts of Morelia and San Luis, right? Two totally different cities. So, in general though, San Luis was ridiculously well kept and clean. I was shocked.
Yeah. The next thing I have is that in San Luis Potosí, and keep in mind, when we say San Luis Potosí, we're not talking about the whole state. We haven't been in the whole state. We're talking about San Luis Potosí in the state of San Luis Potosí, so like the capital city in that state.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Not the Huasteca or any of that other area. Totally agree with this. Cleanliness of the people.
Gringos are us.
Yeah.
Totally agree with the cleanliness of SLP. The cleanest that we have encountered in our travels so far. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Almost undeniable.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah. No, I don't really.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, so cleanliness, not an issue in San Luis from what we saw and from what Gringos R Us saw.
Let's repeat SLP. Lots of angst in Morelia. Always a protest. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Mike R, welcome. And
Hi.
Mike R mentioned there's less graffiti in San Luis Potosí, but there's more angst because there's always a protest. We've seen more than a couple of protests. One of the protests that we have not seen yet, and hopefully we don't, are the feminist protests. In case you guys aren't familiar with the feminist protests, those happen in multiple different places throughout Mexico. Very specifically here in Morelia, you see them a lot. In Mexico City, you'll see them. Unfortunately, Mexico, according to the Mexican people who told us this, right, our friends who've grown up here, tell us that in Mexico has a history of mistreating women, okay? The Mexican women. And so the feminists, in order to promote the cause of treating women equally and properly, they'll have these protests. And so that's what we, as far as angst goes, yeah, you can kind of see some of that.
The next thing I have on my list is that this is a huge night and day difference also. The roads were in much better shape. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about the whole, Florida, my family's from Florida. Oh, hello, that's great.
Welcome, Gil. Welcome, Gil Mendoza. Welcome. I just want to say before you hit the roads, no problem. So Gringos R Us brought up a great point just now. The graffiti is on the rise in SLP though. They're tagging the vacant buildings. Absolutely right. We noticed that a lot of vacant buildings from our experience are government buildings. A lot of vacant government buildings, and the people love to tag those up. Now, is graffiti in itself, does that mean that the place is dangerous? No. It's, in my opinion, it's hardly a crime when you look at all the crime that exists in this world. But yes, it is on the rise there, and so is in SLP, and so is crime in general, okay? But keep in mind, throughout the whole world, you have crime on the rise.
You do.
And Gil Mendoza, hello from Florida. My family is from Morelia. Glad to see you guys.
Woo!
Very good to see you too.
Compared to the other cities. Yes, the sidewalks. Yeah, the sidewalks are wide, and also that kind of reminds me to the next thing is that the roads. The roads are in much better shape in San Luis Potosí than in Morelia. I know we put out a short recently. We got the big one, and people were commenting about the roads in Michoacan. But keep in mind when we got a lot of comments about that, but more prosperous and has more green spaces. I like both.
It's okay. We can.
So
finish your thought. We're still trying to figure out the live. We got to get as good as Gringos R Us with our lives. We'll finish saying what we're saying, and then we'll hit the comments.
What was I saying? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the roads were in much better shape. From what we understand, that was because we were told maybe political reasons why that was the case in San Luis Potosí. Because apparently it wasn't always like that. It's just recently the roads are much better. And when I say the roads, I'm not just talking about we're not just talking about the toll roads. We're talking about the regular roads in general. The highways, yes, you have the topes, of course, but it's just smoother. They're in much better shape. They really put money into taking care of the roads over there. And Morelia,
Morelia is more beat up.
Yeah.
The roads are more messy. As far as The roads, the sidewalks, everything is more messed up here. Now, as Brittany mentioned, for political reasons, SLP, right before we arrived, they fixed the roads because the residents there and our friends, we have family and friends there, they told us, yeah, right before you arrived, they fixed the roads. And the reason why is because the guy who was running for mayor or whatever the case was, he wanted the people's vote. So he started fixing the roads. So that's something there. We have here, Gringos R Us brings up the sidewalks in SLP are wide and comparable to other cities. Absolutely right. We found great sidewalks over there. Allah brought up Mazatlan is way better. We can't speak on it, but we've heard it's beautiful. We will be going there soon, though.
Yes.
We will. Gil Mendoza, have you guys thought about a taco review?
She said that yesterday to me.
Have you guys thought about a taco review? So many different types of tacos. Actually, Brittany brought that up to me yesterday. So
I think she brought it up to me. I think it's the same person.
yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, Brittany brought it up to me yesterday because you probably brought it up to her, and so that we're going to be looking into doing that. And Gringos R Us mentions very few cobblestone roads in SLP. Absolutely, it makes it easy to walk and drive.
Yeah.
And Mike R brought out smaller expat community in San Luis Potosí. Spanish needed for both cities. Yes.
That was actually on my list of things to talk about. Yep.
All right, let's hop back to your list.
Okay. So actually, I can go out of order. One of my things on my list was that what we found, is that people. I mean, I don't know if you noticed this too, but in San Luis Potosí, people I think were more bilingual. Like the
In SLP?
Mexicans were more bilingual. And actually, well, in SLP, they also have like a lot of people who speak German over there, we found. So, Europeans, they speak English. So, but even the Mexicans, when we were on the street, and what happened a few times is they heard us speaking Spanish, when they heard especially me, I think they felt bad because my Spanish is horrible and my pronunciation is horrible. And they would just be like, just switch to English and... Yeah, so it was definitely different. Whereas here in Morelia, if I'm not speaking Spanish correctly, or if I'm saying something wrong, there's a good chance that they may not speak English, or maybe a little bit of English. So it's more, which is one of the reasons why we actually came to Morelia, was because we wanted to be put in a situation where we would have to.
We've been in a lot of situations.
Force us into speaking Spanish more and integrate,
Right.
I guess.
In SLP, I don't know if Gringos R Us experienced this as well, but there's a lot of Europeans in SLP. And the reason why is because SLP is booming with industry. We actually checked out, we didn't put it on the channel, but we actually checked out the industrial zone, okay? They call it the industrial zone in San Luis Potosí. It's a huge, vast area of industry. And we checked it out because we were looking for properties over there that we thought maybe we'd be interested in looking at, maybe for an investment or something like that. You have BMW investing in San Luis. You have a whole bunch of car companies, Volkswagen, a whole bunch of car companies, a whole bunch of industry in general investing in San Luis. So what you find in San Luis is a whole bunch of Europeans, because they're getting sent from their country to San Luis to live there for like a year, 2 years, to work on their job function. And then they go home. So tons of Europeans over there. A lot of them do speak English. And therefore, a lot of the Spanish people that we met do speak English. We had tons of English-speaking people over there, especially when they feel bad for you.
Yeah.
They see how horrible our Spanish is.
Yeah, we've had German speaking English to us too. It's like,
Yeah.
So it's over here. Yes, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, and then Morelia in comparison. I mean, well, we can go to like Home Depot, and let's say part of the reason SLP is laid out a little differently than most other cities is the French influence when it was being built. Oh, thank you for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Gringos.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you probably see that in the center very much within the, because the center, we'll probably get to that later, but the center was very different.
Oh, yeah.
Gringos R Us, it is named for King Louis the Ninth. Louis the Ninth.
King Louis.
King Louis.
Yeah. King Louis.
Cool.
King Louis. Cool.
Thank you very much for expanding our knowledge today.
So just know that if you come to Morelia, yes, people, I mean, we've been out and sometimes, even in Morelia, I mean, people will see that we're American and some of them will be like so excited to see us and they'll start practicing their English and they're just so excited because there's not that many, Americans in the city. So they just get so excited. Whereas, finish your thought.
Finish your thought.
Whereas, over in Morelia, in SLP, it was that kind of leads me into the next thing. People were generally less friendly.
Right.
And they have a word for people in San Luis Potosí.
Now keep in mind, we saw it and we spoke to our Mexican friends about it. Our Mexican friends were born there. Okay? So we're not trying to insult anybody. We're telling you our experience, and then we related our experience to our friends who live there, and they told us the following. Big disclaimer there.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
Potosí naste.
Potosí naste.
And I remember it because it sounds like nasty.
Right.
So Potosí naste. But those are the ones who will see you on the street and they'll act like they don't know you.
Right. So Brittany and I, we do a lot of walking, a lot of traveling, and we like to speak to the general public, right? We have interviews of people on our channel from San Luis Potosí because we like speaking to people. And the people we met have that name, Potosí naste, for the people in San Luis. These are the locals.
Right. People who are from San Luis Potosí are called Potosinos. But the people who are who aren't the nicest are called Potosí naste. So there's a difference between Potosino and Potosí naste. So we're not saying everybody's like that, but it was just something, we noticed. If I said hola, people would just be like, who cares?
The thing I love about Mexico is if you're depending on the area, you will have the strangers. Buenas tardes, big smile. Buenas tardes. Today, we let someone walk past us. He immediately went like this, thanking us for letting him go, right? In San Luis, we would take the initiative. Buenas tardes, buenos dias, buenas noches, and many, not all, but many of the people, they looked at us up and down and then went about their business, or they continued doing what they were doing, ignoring us completely. And that's one of the reasons I told Brittany I don't want to live there. Because when I left the United States, that's what it was like in the United States. You say hi to somebody and they'll be like, get out of my way, or something along those lines. Not everybody, but a lot. So the love that when we left San Luis, we went to Tlaquepaque. And oh man, we were like, we're back in Mexico again. Because the love from the people from Tlaquepaque and from Guadalajara was abundant. And we were like, whoa, we're back in Mexico. We felt like we were in a little United States.
That's not to say that we don't have friends there. We made a ton of friends.
Oh, we got tons of friends there.
We have tons of friends. We're not saying we hate San Luis Potosí. We're not saying everybody's nasty. We're just saying that that's something to maybe be aware of if you're planning on going there. We're not saying it's just a general thing. Not saying every single human being is that way. The countryside of most folks where I'm from are still formal compared to the city folks.
So I don't know if they heard you. So we have Rabbit commenting, the countryside and most folks where I'm from are still formal compared to the city folks. Yes. So the people in the countryside might act different than the people from the city. They may be more friendly. We have tons of friends in Mexico in general who say, oh, the people in the city of Morelia are not friendly because they're from the country. But meanwhile, to us, the people in Morelia, so friendly. So to us, it's different than them. So you see how everybody's experience will kind of be different depending on where you're coming from and all that stuff. Thank you for bringing that out, Rabbit.
Rabbit, were you talking about Mexico or were you talking about the United States? Because I've noticed that too in the United States also. Like, for example, I grew up in the country and we're in a small town and people are much more friendlier than where Joe's from in New York City.
Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same in the United
Yeah.
States. The people from upstate New York, when compared to people from New York City, upstate New York people are much nicer. But then when you compare the upstate New York people upstate New York people to the people from Mexico, it would be a completely different altogether. Gringos R Us brings out, I think the neighborhood makes a big difference. We had very welcoming people in the Tequisiquipan, gracias, neighborhood. Excellent. And don't get us wrong. We had many welcoming people. We did. We had a lot of fun speaking to them, interviewing them. We met so many people, but as a whole, in general, it wasn't the same. Like going to Tlaquepaque was like, boom, mind blown. But yes, of course, the neighborhood will make a difference. So what do you have next on your list there?
So this is a big thing, and this is something you may want to consider if you're deciding whether you want to live in San Luis Potosí or if you want to live in Morelia. And that is the weather. There's a huge difference with the weather. In fact, so we were in San Luis Potosí in January and February. The end of January and most of February we were there. And you can go through pretty much all the seasons in one day. You can go from in the morning, maybe wearing jeans, because it's a little bit colder in the morning, and then you put on shorts, and then you put on maybe a sweatshirt at around 4 o'clock, and then there was, I'm not kidding you, I was wearing a coat. I was cold, and I do not get cold that easily, and I was cold. And my friend, she gave me her coat because she saw me shivering, and I'm like, it's so cold here.
Yeah, it's the cutest thing because you see the Mexican people running around in puffer jackets.
Yeah.
And it's cute because in the beginning you're like, why are they doing that? Until you feel it. And then in the morning, like Brittany said, I was wearing a sweater and sweatpants. Now keep in mind, again, the time of when we were there.
Yeah.
But San Luis is very well known for the fact that it goes through seasons. So in one day, you'll go from a sweater. It's kind of cool. You go from a sweater and sweatpants to like around 12 o'clock, you got to jump into shorts and a tank top. And then by like 4 p.m., maybe put on some jeans, right? Because the sweatpants are a little bit too heavy. So you got to wear jeans. And then by 6, you're back in the sweatpants. So it's amazing. It really is incredible. And it's kind of cool because you get to experience variety.
In one day.
So like you're not in like Puerto Vallarta where it's like hot and sweaty from 6 a.m. till like 9, well, until the next morning.
All day, every day,
into the night.
24/7.
Yeah. Huge variety there.
No, gracias.
That's really cool that you can bring your sweatpants and enjoy them. Because I miss my sweatpants sometimes.
Yeah. Someone gave
somebody left a comment. Let's see. Okay, Gil Mendoza. SLP is desert, all dry Morelia, Michoacan. Lots of green and good climate. Definitely. Excellent climate.
So that's actually one of the reasons why we came to Morelia was because of the climate. We came here last July and into August, and it was during the rainy season, and it's pretty temperate. And so we did have a heat wave, like maybe June.
Yeah.
Heat wave. And I think that was like the hottest it was in 30 years. That's not normal. And we got into the 90s here. And that's really rare. Typically, you can expect in Morelia during the day for it to be in the 70s or 80s.
Right. We have friends here in Morelia who have grown up here. And over the last couple of months, they were like, I've never been this hot in my life. Because it's unusual. We had that heat wave. Normally, Morelia's temperature is extremely temperate, as Rabbit mentioned.
Like, we just wear shorts pretty much all day.
Right.
Every day.
All
you don't
day,
have to wear the coat. You don't change layers. It's just... Yeah.
It's cool. You will have periods of time, of course, where it might get a little chilly.
Yes, and at nighttime
Yeah,
too.
at
And during the
nighttime.
rainy season, you may put on jeans. I mean, I put on jeans before in Morelia, but
Right.
mostly I would say I get hot easily, so I'm usually in shorts.
So Cindy K asks, speaking of climate, what about humidity? Cindy, were you talking about humidity in Morelia or talking about humidity in San Luis Potosí? I don't want to make an assumption there. I guess we could talk about both, since that's what we're doing. We might as well, in Morelia. Okay, we'll touch on both. So as far as humidity, in Morelia, it is not humid here. I mean, we're from New York. We're from New York. So humid in New York. So humid, disgusting.
More humid in New York City.
Yes. And so I love it in Morelia. I haven't felt humidity in Morelia not one time because I would remember. Trust me, I would know because it's like, I hate it. I haven't felt it once. Sometimes you'll feel the heat, especially with this heat wave, but overall, excellent.
Yeah.
And in San Luis Potosí, I didn't feel any humidity.
I didn't feel, no, not humidity.
No.
Both places, I felt the sun on me, and I did get hot when I was walking around, but it's not humid.
Right.
Now the Huasteca area, that's different. We're just talking about we're talking about the capital city.
San
Luis
Luis.
Potosí. Yeah.
Right. The Huasteca area
That's different.
Completely different. That will be humid. Mike R mentioned both are good options. Absolutely. Meaning Morelia and San Luis, both great. Absolutely. Both great options.
Yeah.
Rabbit, when I was in Morelia, it was hot, but it would be raining in the afternoon. Thank you guys for those likes.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you
appreciate
for telling us
it.
your experiences.
Yeah. Even now, lately, the big storms in the afternoon, but morning is blue and sunny. Afternoons can get super warm and tranquil. Absolutely right. Oh, we have Unknown in the chat. What up, guys? Watching from Edmonton. How's the South? Welcome. We're very happy to have you here. Very happy to have you here. And Gringos Are Us. We can send you some from here in Yucatan. We have plenty to spare. They're talking about humidity. Oh, Gringos Are Us must be humid all day and night. I don't miss it at all. That's why we don't want to go anywhere like that. When we went to Puerto Vallarta, we rented a mansion because we were like, hey, we're in Puerto Vallarta, let's go. Actually, we technically stayed in Nuevo Vallarta, but we were in Puerto Vallarta all the time.
You were with your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did not want to leave the house. We didn't want to go for a walk. We didn't want to go to the beach. We didn't want to do anything. We didn't even want to go in the pool. It was so disgusting.
It was disgusting. When you got out of the car, you felt like you were going to die. Like you could literally just feel like humidity.
When we were driving into Puerto Vallarta, because we drove in there from I forget where, maybe La Piedad.
We drove from La Piedad to Nuevo Vallarta.
Right.
It was like an 8-hour drive.
Yes. So from La Piedad into Nuevo Vallarta, Puerto Vallarta, 8-hour drive. We were driving in. We felt through the car, we felt the humidity like a brick wall. And I was like, I am going to not have fun here. And I didn't. Not one bit. It was miserable. Hate to complain, guys, but it is what it is. Yes. Unknown. Just stumbled upon you on my YouTube shorts. You seem cool ASF. Thank you very much. I hope I'm cool. And I hope you... thank you for being here. And I hope you guys appreciate this content. Thank you very much.
He used to leave.
Unknown, just about to head out to a food festival. Excellent.
Woo.
Have fun.
Woo.
Super humid here, and it's central Alberta. Well, have fun at the food festival. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you at the next live.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Be safe out there and enjoy that food. And welcome again. Gil Mendoza. I can tell you a thing or two about humidity. Florida here. Absolutely right. Whew, absolutely right. Before we decided to move to Mexico, I was like thinking about Florida. And then I remembered, wait a minute, I've been there. I don't like the humidity.
Yeah.
But what were we on?
I mean, we're not against visiting a place like that, but to live there is different. I mean...
Yeah, of course.
You both ever tried menudo? Where's menudo?
Menudo. No, not even familiar. Not familiar with menudo. KS.
¿Dónde está?
Yeah.
Tripe soup.
Oh.
Oh, that's a food.
Yes.
Not a place.
Tripe soup. Actually, we sat with someone who was eating menudo. Remember when we were hanging out with Juan Carlos? One of our friends got menudo.
I like menudo. Okay.
Ah, yeah. Well, I'm vegan, so I wouldn't eat it, but maybe Brittany would like it because Brittany does like fish.
Maybe.
And Gringos R Us was thinking about a boy band. Gut soup. Okay,
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we've actually seen it, smelled it. Actually, it smelled good last time I checked. Our friend was eating it. So I wouldn't eat it just because I'm vegan, but I'm sure Brittany one day would love to try it.
You can try it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
So
What do you got next?
this is a big one. This was probably one of the biggest reasons why we did not. Delicious. What about pozole? Yes, we've tried pozole. Yep. Well, I have. I don't know if you know. I suppose
No,
vegan.
I
I
haven't
have. It's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Had it. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I forgot where I was in Jalisco, but vegan. How are we going to do the taco?
Trust me, I find all the vegan tacos no matter what place we go to. Brittany, she eats everything else. So I can eat all that good stuff. Tacos con papas, all that stuff. It's all good. The food here in Mexico, it doesn't discriminate. It's all good.
Yeah. Now I really want Mexican food.
Everywhere I go, I really want to eat. Gil does not like pozole.
Oh. I've had it in Talaki Paki, and then I had the first time we had it was when we were at that little get together thing in near where your brother lives.
Right.
Yeah, that was really good. Brittany will help. I'll help.
Yes.
Woo.
Don't worry. We got the taco review coming. Don't worry.
No.
I'll be doing the tacos for the vegans. Brittany will do the tacos for everybody else.
Yeah.
We've had some amazing. One of the things I love about Morelia,
Yeah.
Cindy, look forward to it. Even the vegan food is good here.
That's on my list for Morelia. I guess we can skip to that. Well, okay, we'll go to that one since you talk about it.
Okay.
Morelia, hands down, better food. That was a big reason why we also. Michoacan in general, better food. Doesn't matter we've been in different places in Michoacan. It's so far it's the best food of even Mexico City. I think it beats Mexico City as far as Mexican food goes.
Mexico City's got variety.
It's got variety.
It's got variety. Mexico City has all the variety. It's like being in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's amazing.
Yeah. I love pozole very well.
But so expand on the food.
So we're talking about the better food. So like in Morelia, the food I don't know, it just tastes better. Like the pambazos here, and we went to some nice restaurants. We did San Luis Potosí. That kind of leads me into the other thing I have on here, which is in general, San Luis Potosí is more expensive. Now people may say that it's not. Maybe you have a different lifestyle than we do. Everybody spends money differently. But personally...
Wait, are we off the food already?
I'm still talking about that. So, it is more expensive, we found, in San Luis Potosí. Just to give you an example, talk about food. Yeah, talking about food. We spent $40 on that burger. Remember that burger I got?
Right.
And a little dessert. And yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, so yeah. The food we found was more expensive. The food wasn't bad. It was just, I mean, it was good. It just wasn't as, like, good as here.
Yeah. For me, the food in San Luis Potosí, out of all the restaurants we went to, we hit one that had very, very nice food. But the food did not compare to Morelia. And the prices in San Luis for shopping,
food,
like going to the grocery store, and for going out to restaurants. Brittany bought a $40 burger. It looked like a regular place. It was a little, and she got a brownie. I got a coffee. I think my coffee, like this, with no free refills, was like $6. There wasn't even milk in it. And I got charged like $6. And this was not a fancy place by any means.
Now, I will say that burger, I'm going to just, disclaimer, was the best burger that I've I think actually ever had. It was a buffalo burger, and it was really good. So that one was good.
It was like close to $40.
But it was good.
So anyway, we spent more money in San Luis on groceries than we did in the United States when we were living in New York.
I kept the receipts and I was looking at the prices, and this is before the peso got really strong. I mean, it was still getting strong.
It was not that bad.
It wasn't as bad as it is now. And I remember looking at the receipts, like, converting the pesos to dollars. I was thinking, this is like this more the same that we spend in the U.S. in New York City.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Where am I?
Right. And so the food here in Morelia is much better. I think
Generally speaking.
It depends on where you go, right? And what you're eating. But we went out the other night to a beautiful taco restaurant. There was about 12 of us, and I paid for everybody. It was like only $8 a person.
If that.
And we had tons of delicious food, and it was like, man, I'm so happy to be here in Morelia.
Yeah.
So that's some of the differences. The price for food and the price and the taste, the quality. The food in San Luis, to me, not all of San Luis, but 95 or 98% of it, didn't feel like it had that real Mexican food to it, in my opinion.
And if you're spending $8 in Morelia on food, I mean, that's not probably that's like high end here. It's very easy to just spend like $3 a person. It's not hard to do.
No.
We went to the place right over here with our friends, and I think for the four of us, I think it was like $12 for the four of us. Like, it was very cheap. Like, even with the peso being strong, it was very, like, you can get a whole meal for 45 pesos.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I love buying people food here because it's like, hey, I would be spending that amount on like one person in the United States, not even two people.
Yeah.
I just want to hit up the comments because we got a bunch of comments that we missed. Okay. So, coming from Mike R, vegetarian buffets in Morelia. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Tons of vegetarian and vegan in Morelia, which I love.
Yeah.
Rabbit mentions, bruh, Morelia got KFC, Burger King, and fast food restaurants.
That's why we're here.
Straight up. Straight up.
I love
Brittany cannot live without it, and Morelia has it. And all those chains you just mentioned, they are high end. You walk in there.
You spend more money than the U.S.
You'll spend more money in the U.S. in those chains, but at least you have the option of having it.
I don't go there, every day. But it's just so funny. Like, people make it's like a big thing here. And they're like luxury places. I mean, this is like a little side topic. I went to the McDonald's over where we're living, and it was like the nicest bathroom. I'm gonna be honest, this is like the nicest bathroom I saw in Mexico. And I'm like, wow, like, so, like, it's just so, like, I felt like it was in the United States almost, like in a very clean United States. Like, McDonald's, even the McDonald's, I used to work at McDonald's, and the bathrooms were not that clean. So this was like, wow, like.
The fast food here is like luxury. So when you want to go out to eat and have a good meal, the Mexicans here are like, oh, you're going to McDonald's? Because it's very expensive compared to even the United States.
Yeah.
But they treat you really nicely there. It's clean. Yeah. Everything is nice.
They were so nice. Like, the one over, as a side topic too, they were so nice, this one over here. Because, like, in McDonald's, they don't have, like, a lot of the sauces sometimes that you'll have, like, in the U.S. Like, they don't have buffalo sauce, I've noticed. But I asked for honey mustard. I think they made me actual honey mustard. Like, they made it for me. I've never had anybody make me a sauce. Usually they're like, sorry, I don't have it.
Yeah.
They gave me, like, it wasn't in the packet. It was, like, in a cup.
In a cup.
And I think they combined honey and mustard, and they actually made me honey mustard. Like, that's just the kindness.
Yeah.
How kind people are here.
Yeah. We had such an amazing experience at a pizza shop over here. It was Little Caesars, was it?
A Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut or Little Caesars. Amazing experience there. We go in there. They're so happy to see us. We're trying to talk to them in Spanish. One of the guys, he spoke English, so he was like practicing his English, and we were talking in Spanish. such kindness and love. Like, most of Mexico is like this, though. As far as the love, I mean, unheard of. The people here in Mexico are beautiful. Such amazing, kind, loving souls, I'm telling you. But we got some more comments I want to hit up. Gil Mendoza, wow, I had no idea SLP was so expensive for a Mexican city. We were wondering why. And the only thing we could think of was that there's so many Europeans there for work that maybe they have that high standard of living. But we got told from some of our friends who live there, right? So don't hate us for it. We're just relaying the message that SLP is very snooty. They have a high standard of themselves. They think of themselves as very like high. So maybe that's why too.
I wonder if it's because they're closer to the border. They're about 8 hours from the border. Maybe that's why.
I can't speculate on why.
We don't know why.
That's just
we
our
kept wondering, like,
experience.
there's no beaches here. Why is it so expensive? Like, I don't know. Now, something that they have that's similar is their population, actually.
Is that what you were going to talk? So let me just finish with the comments.
Sorry.
I'll hit off these comments real quick. Gil Mendoza mentions that SLP is similar to Monterrey prices as far as what we're saying. So Monterrey, I've heard, is very expensive, and that's also very industrial.
Yeah, both industrial.
Might have something to do with that. Okay, Rabbit is heading out. I'll see you both another time. Stay
Bye,
safe.
Rabbit.
See you later, Rabbit.
Have a
Thank you
great
so
day.
much for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Glad you're in Michoacan, the best state in Mexico.
Woo!
No doubt, no doubt. Antony Mendez, Mexican-American, moving to Mexico soon. Love your channel. Thank you so much.
Where are you moving? If you don't mind sharing. If you don't want to say the city, that's okay. Maybe the state that you're moving?
Yeah, Antony, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Antony, let us know. Where are you planning on moving in Mexico? And welcome in advance. Gringos Are Us, we had Little Caesars in El Tahar. It ranks right there with SMA price-wise. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you for letting us know. So it ranks with San Miguel as far as price.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
We've said it a million times and we'll say it again. If you're just looking for a cheap place to live, Mexico ain't it. It's not. It's a little cheaper with certain things.
Yeah.
But it is not on anybody's list. Well, it shouldn't be on anybody's list for the cheapest country. It should not be.
If you want to be in a country that's not too far from the United States to visit your family, then it's a good option.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But are we on my list? Okay.
Yeah, we'll hit the list.
Talk about the weather. So the population of San Luis Potosí and Morelia is very similar. I think San Luis Potosí might be a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's not. If you're deciding, do I want to be in a gigantic city or a small city? Well, that's not really going to be a factor, really, because it's about the same. It felt larger in San Luis Potosí, maybe because of traffic. I don't know, but it felt bigger. But it's actually population-wise about the same like this.
Yeah, I don't really see too much of a difference.
Yeah.
As far as population, it's probably about the same thing.
So if you were to ask us why did we choose Morelia, well, the food is better, the weather is pretty temperate, and it's just much more affordable, you know?
And a big thing for me was the people. Because when I first came to Mexico, I fell in love with the people here. And when we went to San Luis, no disrespect to anybody, but I was kind of like, there was friendly people. Don't get me wrong. We made friends there. We did.
Yeah.
But as far as the amount of friendly people, I felt like I was back in the States. And I'm like, I might as well go back to the States. It's expensive. And the people here are similar to the States, kind of cold. So that was my experience with the people. That was a big deal for me. I was like, if I live here, I'm going to become like that, and I don't want to become like that.
Another thing is also driving in San Luis Potosí is scarier than in Morelia.
Oh. So you guys ever watch cartoons or movies where like people wake up, or if you live in Mexico, you get this a lot, or maybe somewhere in upstate New York, you'll wake up and you hear the birds chirping. beep, 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 and they're so cute. It's so pleasant to wake up to, the sun shining. In San Luis, you're going to wake up to beautiful sun, beautiful, perfectly landscaped areas, depending on where you are, of course, right? This is my experience. But you're going to wake up not to birds, you're going to wake up to screeching car tires because the people there, when they get in their cars, they're another animal. And we spoke to our friends about it and we were like, why is it so dangerous to drive here? We've driven all across Mexico. This was the most dangerous place we have ever been in our lives.
And we've driven in Reynosa, Tamaulipas.
Yeah.
Which everybody says, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're coming from New York City. So you got the crazy cabbies, you got the bicycles, we're used to all that. But when you got people in San Luis not even stopping for stop signs until you're almost about to crash, nah. So I'm a professional driver. I have a CDL. I know how to drive because I have to know how to drive. It's my job, or it was my job. And man, there was so many times that we were praying before we got into our car. If we die today, forgive us for anything that we've done. You know what I'm saying? God protect us while we're behind the wheel. It was a nightmare. We had our friends who lived there screaming behind the wheel. And we're like, you live here. Why are you dealing with this? You've been here for like 25 years, or you grew up here. Why are you living like this? We interviewed a barista, and she said the people behind the wheel are disgusting, selfish. She lives there. She grew up there. So that's our experience, and the people who've lived there's experience with us, talking to us about it, as far as the driving.
Yeah.
That was a huge no-no. We could not do it. I could barely do it, let alone Brittany doing it. So I was like so happy to get out of there as far as driving.
It was like worse than New York City. We've driven to Manhattan, both of us.
New York City is a pleasure. I mean, people stop at stop signs in New York City.
It was worse than Manhattan, put it that way.
Much worse than Manhattan. We had a horrible experience with that. I have on video camera of me almost dying at a stop sign because the person did not want to stop. Nope. They had a stop sign. I kept going because they had a stop sign. They came within inches of my car and I got it on tape. And I looked at them and their face was like this. Like a regular day.
Yeah.
Regular day. No, I'm sorry. No, oh, forgive me. Nothing.
Yeah.
Business as usual. They just kept it moving. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got some comments. Let's check it out. Cindy K. Holy cow. I don't think I want to drive in Mexico. Cindy, Mexico driving for me, and I think Brittany would agree, it's fine. It's fine. I have had no problems personally. What about you?
I was going to say, this isn't me talk about driving. We did not actually, not one time, get stopped by the police in San Luis Potosí.
No.
Now, in Morelia, we've been stopped 3 times, and we've been here since April.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a reason behind that. There's a reason, okay? Now, things in San Luis and near San Luis are changing, right? Keep that in mind. Mexico is a constantly changing place, not stable as far as certain things. But over here in Morelia, this is considered by the people who live here, okay? This is not coming from Joe, because I have no right to say anything that I don't know about. This is coming from our family and friends who live here. This is a narco state.
Michoacan
is a narco state. By the way, I'm saying Michoacan because that's how they say it here. I've had so many people say, why are you saying Michoacan like that? Because if you Google it, that's how Google tells you to say it. And that's how the people who live here say it. That's why I'm saying Michoacan.
Yeah, because Michoa.
Right, Michoacan.
Yeah.
That's how they say it here.
Yeah.
The Mexicans here, Michoacan.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a level 4 state. If you talk about compared to the U.S., they had different levels of safety in the U.S. Michoacan is on one of the most dangerous states. We're not gonna. That could be in a whole other video talking about safety. San Luis Potosí, I believe, is in number 2, at least in certain places.
Right.
So, now does that mean that bad things don't happen in San Luis Potosí? No, they definitely do. We've heard of things that happen.
Sure.
Yeah. It all depends on what area you're in.
Yeah.
You want to don't just want to live to say, oh, they said Morelia is a great place, so I'm just going to live in any part of Morelia. No, don't do that. Do your research, talk to people, and maybe we'll do a video actually about safety.
The safety? Sure. Yeah, we can do a video on it. But Cindy, I just want to say, I know you're coming here. I don't want you to be scared. We would not be living here if we felt fearful of our lives every day. We would not. So don't be scared, Cindy.
Yeah.
I would recommend you to come here and enjoy yourself because the people and the food and the culture, the city, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I would not...
I'm just comparing the statistics.
Right, we're just comparing statistically. It's a narco state according to the people who live here. And so the police will pull you over more often if you're driving, especially in a foreign plated vehicle. And the reason why is because sometimes... I'm not going to bring up any recent news that recently happened in the news, but sometimes and a lot of times the Mexican people, the cartels that do exist, will use Americans to smuggle guns and drugs, okay? That happens, especially in this state, right? So when they see an out-of-state vehicle, you can't blame them for saying something along the lines of, wait a minute, let's check them out. Now, every experience we've had so far with the police has been amazing. Kind, courteous, loving, helpful. They're pulling us over to make sure we're okay. By the time we leave, we have friends.
Never been asked for a bribe.
Never been asked for a bribe. Not saying it doesn't happen, but we've never been asked for a bribe. So we've been pulled over plenty. And they just keep it moving. Can we see your paperwork? Thank you. Have a great day. Let's hope it continues that way, but that's what we've experienced so far.
Cindy, I don't know if you're coming here I don't think you're coming here with a car. The nice thing about Morelia, just like San Luis Potosí, they both have Ubers. Now, if you're not planning on bringing a car, you may want to make sure the place that you're staying at can get an Uber. For example, where we're living right now, we can't get an Uber. And right now, we're currently without our car.
Right.
It's getting work done. So we kind of feel a little bit trapped a little bit because where we're living is not, you can walk to like some things, but you can't walk to like a lot of things.
So we're living right now in an area that's very peaceful and tranquil, very quiet and beautiful, but it's far from things. If you want to walk, right? If you want to walk, there's general stores here, but if you want to go to like the center, well, that's like a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
So you're looking at you can't walk that. But in general, if we walked about 20 minutes or 15 minutes, we could get an Uber. Yeah. But in general, if we just pick up the Uber app right now, we're not getting an Uber. We'd have to walk like 15 minutes.
We get Uber Eats, but not Uber.
Uber Eats, yes, but the cars, no. So, yeah, I don't know if you're driving here, Cindy, or anybody. If you're here, keep in mind, depending on where you're at, it will be accessible or not.
Make sure if you're staying in an Airbnb, you ask them like, hey, do Ubers come here?
Right.
Can I walk to things?
Right.
Because, for example, if you're by the area, we really like the area by the zoo, for example, that's walkable, where we were last year.
Right.
There's an area where there's hanging baskets. If anyone who's been in Morelia knows what I'm talking about, that's a really great area. You can walk to things. Not all parts of Morelia are walkable. And now when we were in San Luis Potosí, where we were, in both places we were able to walk to things.
Yeah.
Generally. So
yeah, generally.
And it depends on, of course, what area.
On where
Just
you
do
are.
your research.
Do your research.
Yeah.
If you're coming here, I'm sure Gringos R Us can tell you, ask people, your hosts, before you get there. Can I catch an Uber where I'm at? Stuff like that. So we got some comments that I want to hit up. Let's see here. Anthony, I'm just going to say how I think it's pronounced. Anthony, looking for properties in Morelia and Puebla. Ah, very nice. Leaning towards Morelia. Michoacan's weather. You will love the weather here when
Yeah.
compared to Puebla. I haven't been to Puebla, but I know that it's better here.
We know they have volcanoes.
We know that too.
No volcanoes here.
Weather here in Morelia,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony mentioned, weather is unbeatable along with the avocados. Absolutely right. So many avocado fields here. Cindy, okay, so Cindy's saying, I intend to have fun. It's just the driving I'm afraid of. Cindy, in Morelia, I think you will be just fine.
Yeah.
Really, honestly, I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Gringos are us.
Just be prepared if you are driving and you have an American plated car that you have your tip with you, because they don't even check. They've never checked us for our insurance papers. I don't think. Maybe we gave it to them. I don't think they really care.
No, they never asked
They
for
don't
it.
care about your license. They don't even care if you have a license.
Yeah.
They care about the tip. That's like the most important thing. And that is not. I think every time, all 3 times, they want to check the trunk.
Right.
And they want to check the car. Are they allowed to do that? I mean,
Technically, from what we've been told, they're not, but you don't want to say no.
no.
Especially if you have no reason
Yeah.
to hide anything, right? And yes, they're stepping on your rights. But
Yeah.
when you really put things into perspective, the police are doing their jobs. They're in a narco state.
Yeah.
So can you really blame them for wanting to check your trunk? They're trying to keep the place safe. So help them keep the place safe. If you're not carrying drugs or guns, what do you have to worry about?
Have your tip ready.
Just make sure
Know
you
where
have
it is, have it with you.
have your tip. So let's see. Gringos are us. Driving in Mexico is a new experience. It just takes a little getting used to. After a few months, it was second nature. Excellent. I'm so happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear you've conquered that. And I'm so happy to know that you guys had no problem in San Luis Potosí as far as driving. Cindy will be staying in Centro.
Okay, you'll be fine.
You're gonna be very
fine.
happy. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna walk to everything.
Yeah. They even have like public parking, which we've used, and they have little lots.
Excellent.
And they're like like $1. Like it's like $2. Very, very,
Very
cheap.
good.
Very inexpensive
Very
to
good.
park your car.
Gringos are us. 5 times pulled over in 8 months. All went on trips between cities. Nothing but great encounters. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that, because there's so many people who are scared to drive here, and for good reason, right? But at the same time, you can see all good encounters from Gringos R Us. Same with us. All good encounters so far. If anybody's afraid to drive in Mexico, listen to what we're saying. Know that scary things may happen like anywhere in the world, but they may not be as common as what people typically will share with you. At least with us, right? Remember, we're not Mexican, we're Americans. That makes a difference. The Mexican people will treat Mexican people differently than they will treat an American. Whether it's for the better or the worse, they will be treated differently.
The last time we saw the police, they kept shaking our hands. They were like so like in shock that we were here.
Yeah. Very good
Yeah,
experiences.
it was funny.
Mike R brings up, I haven't driven in Mexico. Morelia has public transportation, combis every few minutes. Absolutely right. And last I checked, the combis actually have an app so that you can find where their stops are and where they're going. The combis are like, what, 10 pesos?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 pesos for a combi. I know.
10 pesos for the bus, I think, too.
Right. For the buses, the combis, very accessible.
Honestly, I mean, the Ubers, we have taken Uber in Morelia, and it was not expensive. I think it cost like $1.99, and we went 10 minutes?
Yeah.
15 minutes?
Yeah,
10 minutes?
we took like a 15-minute drive, and I think it cost like $2.
Very inexpensive.
I felt like I was robbing the guy.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I need to give him more money,
Yeah.
but no, that's the price. That's what it is.
The buses might be a little bit crowded, I don't know.
Yeah, the buses will be.
We've never taken the bus.
We've
The city bus, I mean.
We've never taken
Local
the
bus.
city transportation, and
Yeah.
that's because it looks like a headache. And the combis,
Yeah.
they are so many combis.
So many.
So
They
cheap.
look crowded, too.
But they look crowded, and hey, it's public transportation. They're
Yeah.
going to be crowded. So that's why we've never really taken them, you know. Even in the States, we typically
No.
don't take public transportation.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely getting around, especially where Cindy will be in the center.
Centro's great. You'll love it.
You're gonna
It's
love
beautiful.
it. It's so beautiful. Yeah,
great.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I mention the center? The difference between the center in Morelia and
Yeah.
San Luis?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone loves the center, right? The center is the center. That's why it's the center. Everybody, that's the main hub, right? In Morelia, I found the center to be way more lively and full of Mexican culture, just me talking, right? Than in San Luis Potosí. In San Luis Potosí, it felt more European. It was mentioned just a minute ago, French, by Gringos R Us, more French. And everything was more conservative. The people, more conservative. The people, less lively.
The colors.
The colors, very neutral in San Luis Potosí. Not that that's bad, but when you have someone like me who loves culture, who loves the vibrancy of the color, the Mexican culture, the vibrancy, the people talking to you, looking at you, smiling, shaking your hand in the middle of the street, that's Morelia. In San Luis, it was not like that to me. Much more bland, neutral, conservative, still beautiful, very clean, amazingly clean. And it had a vibe all its own.
I think Michoacan in general, I mean, this could be just, it's like the heart of Mexico. I mean, yes, everybody's Mexican, but it's just like you feel like real, like very strongly, like it's Mexico. Like this is Mexico. And yeah, the food, the culture is very, very strong here. It's very, like the traditions and
It's very pronounced.
yes. Should we talk about
Well, so I wanted to mention to Cindy too, you're going to be in the center. You're going to see some abandoned government buildings. They're going to have broken windows and they're going to have graffiti. That's all from the protests, okay? So don't be walking around thinking, oh my God, where am I? Because, I mean, you can if you want to, you can feel that way. But those things happen during the protest. The feminists, unfortunately, are put in a position where they feel like they need to graffiti and break windows. So you're going to see that in Morelia, just like you're going to see that in Mexico City. And you will still see a little of that in San Luis. You will. Less, though, right? At least less from what we've seen. They're typically abandoned government buildings that were graffitied on because a lot of people, they're not happy with the government here. Mm-hmm. So, and before we move on, I just want to address the comments.
Okay.
Cindy, okay, sorry, I'll skip that one. Cindy, have you seen wall art in Morelia? We have.
Yes.
Yes. The heart that people put into their art here.
We also saw that in San Luis Potosí too.
We did.
I feel like it was more pronounced in San Luis Potosí.
Yeah? I don't remember.
Remember we were walking around and we saw the art and I kept thinking, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
but yes, there is wall art here and it's beautiful. Just like in Guadalajara, in Mexico City, the wall art, amazing. Very nice. Alejandro Ceja, I believe. So, Alejandro, I will address that question when we come back around, when we're finished with Brittany's list. Where else have we visited in Mexico? Okay. Okay, and you can go ahead with the next.
I want to say, somebody had asked before, I don't know if they're still on here, about Janitzio.
Right, are we finished with your list?
I think we're...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're finished with Brittany's list, so we'll hit up the other questions. And if you have any more questions, drop them in the comments and we'll address those. So the first question was, have we been to Janitzio?
Well, that was from Rabbit.
From Rabbit, he
he
left.
left.
But we can bring, you want to talk
Yeah,
about it?
yeah.
Go ahead.
So we went to Janitzio, which is an island that is near Pátzcuaro in Michoacan. And it's an interesting island because only the indigenous people are allowed to live there. I think that Mr. Rasta came in.
Yeah.
He told us that. And it's very true. When you get off that boat, you take the boat from Pátzcuaro to Janitzio. You step off, you feel like you're like in another world.
And we did a video on it in case you want to see our experience.
We did a video on that. So just very quickly, it's a place that honestly I don't need to go back to.
Right.
I think we both feel that way. We don't need to go back there.
Right.
It's sad. It was stressful, honestly. It's very sad. Honestly, the lake is very sad. It's dirty. That's another story. Yeah.
All right, so let me give a disclaimer, okay? I want to give a disclaimer. We're not putting down the people there.
No.
We're not putting down the lake.
No.
We're not putting down Pátzcuaro. We're not putting down Janitzio. We're not putting down the culture. We're not putting it down. It was sad to us to see a culture. Now, Janitzio is a separate culture from Pátzcuaro, separate, because it's a separate island. Only the people who live there, who grew up there, are allowed to live there, okay? It's a selling culture. It was so sad to see these beautiful people with no fire in their eyes, with no smiles on their faces. You can see our video. They live off of doing the same thing every single day of their lives.
And they all sell the same exact things.
They all sell the same stuff. There's probably about, I don't even know, 1,000 different stands on that island, all the way from the beginning where you come in on the dock, all the way up to the top where you have the statue. About 1,000 stands, and all the people sell the same thing. And the sad part is none of them are happy about it. It killed me to be there because I saw the pain in these people's eyes. And I'm thinking, this is the way they make their money. Selling the same thing that everyone else is selling. So who's going to make money? You're not going to make that much money.
No. And not only that, what really got to me was, because we were like one of the very few Americans that were actually there. So when they saw us, as soon as we got the boat, they want money. And it's not just one or two or three or four people. It was like money. They were the kids were asking us for money. And it was really sad and it was really stressful and they kept wanting money. You have to go up these, to get to the statue, you have to go up a bunch of steps. So as you're walking up the steps, you see all the same thing. People wanting money. The whole, most of the trip, people wanted money. And you say, no gracias. And it was really intense.
It was an intense selling culture.
Very intense.
And the worst part is you're not seeing smiles on these people's faces. They're frustrated. They don't want to be doing what they're doing. They're probably not making any money. Comparatively speaking, they're probably not making much money. It was just really depressing.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you not to go there. It's an experience, but it felt like they're forced to be there. They have no way to make any money. They're not happy selling the same thing over to everybody. And we were bombarded all day with people trying to get money either by selling or just, we had a kid, we had more than one kid just come up to us and say, with his hand out, money. And it was like mind-blowing. If you gave everybody who asked us for money $1, well, we'll use USD, $1, we would have spent over $100. Easy. So it was very depressing for us.
The lake is very depressing too. Our friends who live over here, a few of our friends, they actually told us there used to be 3, I think. And anybody who's from Michoacan wants to comment or correct me on this, who's watching. Hi everybody, by the way, to all the new people who are coming in. There used to be 3 islands.
Three
islands, but then two of them
kind of shut down.
So now there's Janitzio.
Right.
And it's really sad because actually the lake, from what I understand, I mean, when you go to Janitzio, they have paintings of Janitzio. Right. And it's beautiful. They're also, of course, like the same painting.
Right.
But that's besides the point. But the lake looks pretty. And we've been told, it used to be a beautiful lake. It really did, like 50 years ago, 40. It used to be a beautiful lake. Now it's really
polluted.
Honestly, it's really sad, and it's
very polluted.
Very polluted, yeah.
They sell fish, chorales. They sell chorales in Janitzio. They sell tons of fish, right? Because you're around a lake, so they sell you fish. The fish ain't coming from the lake. The fish are not coming. The lake is polluted. They're not coming from the lake. They're selling from somewhere else.
And the butterfly fishermen, what did we find out about that?
Yeah, we were on this boat, flying out from Pátzcuaro to Janitzio, and you see the butterfly fishermen. You'll see them on the video, doing their thing with the butterfly nets. Beautiful, right? But they're sitting in a dirty lake. You can see the lake is not clean. They're sitting in this dirty lake doing their thing with the nets, we find out later they're not fishing for nothing. They're not fishing for it's all a show for the tourists. And it's so sad.
And they want money.
And they want money for doing the show. We didn't know this at first, but we found out that no, they're not fishing. This is all a show for the tourists because you can't eat from that lake.
No. And actually, I didn't say this. I said as soon as you got the boat, people wanted money. I should have corrected myself. When you get on the boat, which by the way is not cheap to get on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Comparative to what the locals pay.
Comparative to what but it's tourists.
It was like $10.
It was like $10, but you got to understand
anyway,
it's tourism.
People want money.
Right.
And it wasn't like bad. I mean, of course they're trying to make a living, but it was just like,
What I love about Mexico is the non-touristic places because nobody's begging you for money. When you're in the tourist traps, they're begging you for money.
Well, they want money too after being at stoplights too. So I mean.
Well, they're performing.
Or selling.
Yeah. In the United States, people beg at stoplights and they're not performing nothing. They're just like, give me money. We got some comments. Let's see. Alejandro, is there people performing on stoplights? Yes. Alejandro, yes. Tons of people performing and selling things at stoplights.
Take a look at our shorts that we put out. I think a few days ago, we put out a short and they were selling, what's that?
Pistachios.
No, something else.
Asparagus.
Asparagus. We've never seen that before. That was interesting.
Hello from Chicago. Lunar Eclipse. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome from Chicago. Lunar Eclipse. Yes, we're talking about Janitzio.
Yeah.
Yes, we were talking about Janitzio. Alejandro wants to know, did we climb the Hollow Monument in Pátzcuaro?
We went up the Mirador.
Right.
But we didn't do all those steps. I think I was tired from walking up that hill.
So if you're talking about the Mirador area with all the steps go all the way up, we did not tackle the steps, but we will.
Yeah.
I look forward to that very much.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful. So beautiful. And that's why it's such a shame that the lake is so polluted. It's such a shame.
Because it could be beautiful.
Oh.
My friend, she took, was it microbiology? Something like that. And she told me, this was years ago, but she told me that when she was in college, they would have to test that lake. She grew up in Pátzcuaro.
Right.
And they would test the lake. She's like, Brittany, that lake is so polluted.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness. And it was, she was explaining it. I'm not
Yeah.
that advanced. But she was explaining to me what's going on, it's really sad.
And it's heartbreaking because when you go to Janitzio, you see the paintings of Janitzio, and the paintings are what Janitzio would look like if it wasn't destroyed.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. It's like
sad.
buying a picture, a painting. It's like buying the painting is like buying a picture of Janitzio in its prime. I want to cry just talking about it right now.
Yeah.
It gets me that upset.
It's very depressing, honestly.
It really is.
I mean, if you want to go see the statue, you could go see the statue. We walked a lot. It was, we walked up actually to the top of the statue. It was a lot. You have to pay extra. You have to pay again. So not only do you pay for the boat ride, you pay again once you get to go into the statue.
It's a tourist place.
Yeah.
You're going to spend money.
Yeah.
I was very happy to pay because I don't want to see the locals not having so much money.
Yeah. I just hope they can fix. I would really like them to, clean up the lake. I know that's a whole thing, but they could just clean up the lake, help those people out that are on that island. It's just really sad,
Yeah.
It could be such a great place, but,
All right, let me tackle some comments here. Gringos R Us mentioned. Lunar Eclipse mentions. Oh, Cindy says, "What a shame." 100%. It is a shame.
Yeah.
It's heart wrenching.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lunar Eclipse. I hate the beginning. I hate the begging from the minute you arrive to the minute you get off the boat till the time you leave. I know.
Yeah.
It really gets to you after having that happen for 6 hours. Gringos R Us. They perform in just about every city that we have been to at the corners. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And you guys will be able to see that stuff on Gringos R Us channel. So check out their channel if you haven't. Lunar eclipse. Inizio is a one and done.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
how
Unfortunately.
we feel.
Lunar eclipse. Did I miss the announcement about the move? You did not miss the announcement because we have not announced to where yet. We will be doing an announcement, but we want to keep that a little quiet right now because we want to give it to you as a surprise.
Yeah.
So don't worry, you didn't miss anything, but stay tuned. Okay, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
It's a big announcement.
It's a big announcement.
Yeah.
Anthony, make sure you call Profeco for any unfair pricing in all those high tourist areas.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes. If we see anything that is completely mind-bogglingly unfair, absolutely. Gringos are us. We have not encountered much of the begging. We have been approached to purchase some small items for 5 or 10 pesos. They don't want just charity. They want to sell something for the money. Gringos are us. That is why I love the selling here. Because in the United States, at least from where we're from, people want stuff for free. Give me money, give me money, give me money. Over here, they're working. They're not looking for charity.
We have seen some disabled people that are asking, but
Do you have to bring that up? They're disabled.
they're disabled. I mean, they're just
When
trying
you
their
have
best.
someone who's disabled, they can't do handstands in the middle of the street. Why are you bringing them up?
I don't know. I'm just
Why you gotta hate on the disabled
I'm not
people?
hating on disabled people.
In
We
the
love-
United States-
we love all those people.
In the United States, give me money for nothing. In Mexico, here, let me provide a service for you. That's what I love about here. They're working all the time. And so Gringos are us. That's the same experience we've had, except for in the touristy areas, like we mentioned, Inizio, where you have maybe, the little kids especially, money, but that's another story. Lunar eclipse. I thought Pátzcuaro was way better. Great food, nice atmosphere, great walking. And the carnitas in Quiroga, oh my God.
Oh,
So I just want to say, to answer the first part of your question, Pátzcuaro, fantastic. I love Pátzcuaro, I do. Everything you said, the food, the ambiance, the entertainment, all amazing. And Quiroga, we loved Quiroga. We did a video on Quiroga. It was very fun.
I tried the carnitas. Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that as far as the carnitas go, they sell the meat that you can buy in like bags, like tons of, like you can buy pounds of meat there. Because as mentioned, the meat is very special there.
I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't think it was anything like super special. I'm not a big fan though of carnitas. I did try the meat. The guy was like giving out free samples. I tried it, and I was like, okay,
Keep in mind though, he gave a sample.
maybe, yeah.
He gave a sample that wasn't like, I think, a complete sample. So for example, you might put some salsa on or some salt. He gave Brittany a taste of meat that was cooked with, it was like unseasoned for some reason. So if you season it up, if you eat unseasoned anything, it's not going to taste all that great.
Now our favorite is still pambazos.
Yo, the pambazos, man. Cindy, when you come here to Morelia, hit those pambazos up.
Get them on Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, straight up. Or go to the restaurant, you know what
Go to
I
the
mean?
restaurant.
Yeah, we did a
In
video.
the Central, you'll have the pambazos.
Right.
Also a great gelato place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morelia,
A lot of fun food.
oh, the food in
A lot of great
Morelia.
food
The
here.
food, the food. Lunar Eclipse is anticipating our surprising you guys with where we're going next and why we're moving. And also mentions what? Quiroga is known for their carnitas. I know.
He just gave it to us plain. Well, he didn't have it.
Yeah.
He gave it to me plain, and I was like,
If
okay.
if it's plain, it's
I'm not a huge fan
It's
of it.
probably not gonna be the best.
It wasn't.
I remember Brittany said this could use some salt.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure if it had some salt and a couple of other things, it would have been
Yeah,
amazing.
there was more to it.
Yeah. It could have been that one vendor also,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, and so Antoni mentions, I only go to Tequila for free samples. No doubt. A lot of people talk about the free samples. Absolutely.
We've never been to Tequila.
We haven't.
No.
We don't drink.
No.
We're boring. If you want to see
No. We
people
drink
drinking,
Coke.
hang out with
No.
Gringos R Us. They drink for us, and when I watch them, I'm like, they're living the life. When I see Gringos R Us, I'm like, they're chilling. They got the life. They got it all figured out. They're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? I love it. But yeah, we don't drink. It's just not what we do.
We eat pambazos.
We eat pambazos. We get fat on pambazos. Back when I used to drink back in the day, I weighed about 300 pounds. And as soon as I cut out alcohol and I went vegan, I added those two things, weight came right off. So I like my waistline too much to start drinking again. Okay, gringos are us. Don't, laugh out loud. Don't worry. I'm drinking your share anyway. That's what I'm talking about. Please enjoy it for me. Enjoy it for me. You guys enjoy. Nothing wrong with drinking whatsoever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Cindy K laughs. I love it. We have another question on the list.
Oh.
That other question was from Alejandro. Where else have we visited in Mexico? That was the next question.
Okay, do you got pen and paper ready? No. We haven't been all over yet, but we have been in Baja California stores. We've been to Cabo and La Paz in those states, and driven from La Paz to Cabo. So passing like in the car, going to the airport, like Todos Santos and all those things. I think it's over there. We've been to obviously Michoacan, Morelia, Pátzcuaro, La Piedad, Quiroga. What else did we go to? I don't know. Lake Sierra. Oh, Lake
Siruen.
I can't say that word.
Yeah, Siruen.
That lake. Now that lake is beautiful.
Beautiful.
You can skip Pátzcuaro Lake. I'm just gonna be honest. No offense to anybody who lives there, who's from there. That's cool. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys because we're just straight up honest.
Go for Pátzcuaro. You don't need to see the lake. Go for Pátzcuaro.
Yeah.
Pátzcuaro Centro is, I love it. I think it's so
historical.
It's very historical and very indigenous there. Very indigenous.
Popping on the weekends.
Popping on the weekends. So much going on.
We're talking about?
We're talking about where we've been.
Oh yeah. So we went there.
So yeah,
and then we went to Querétaro. I'm learning how to pronounce that one. Santiago de Querétaro. We went to where the aduana is, wherever that is, and that was like I want to forget that experience. We went to where did we go? I don't remember. I can't think right.
We've gone to a bunch of places.
Guanajuato, City, León. We've driven from New York to San Luis Potosí. So we've driven in Tamaulipas, we've driven to Nuevo León, went around Monterrey. I remember this.
Yeah,
accent.
So like Brittany said, like you might as well take a pen out. We're very grateful to have been able to visit so many places. A lot of the places we've stayed there for approximately a month.
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta, Nuevo Vallarta, Bucerías, beautiful, hot and sticky, but beautiful.
We want to go. Well, one of our friends, she might be moving to Merida, so Joe's been to Cancun. I've been to Cozumel when we were both very little. But I would like to go back to the Yucatan, but to visit, not to live, to visit. I like to see Merida. I like to see Cancun. We've never. Well, you were a baby, but I've never been to Cancun, so I really want to go to Cancun. There's a lot of places that we haven't been to. We haven't been to Puebla. We've heard that's cool. Yeah,
there's tons of places that we want, that we still have to get to. Yeah. And we look forward to bringing everybody on our trip. You know what I mean? Like we love doing this. We love to get the comments with people saying, I got an amazing comment earlier today, and that comment was saying, it's thanks to people like you and thanks to your specifically your channel that I now don't fear going to Mexico, because all you hear in the United States is about the violence and the danger, and there's bodies hanging from bridges every day, and there's people waking up in ditches, not waking up in ditches, people
they're dying,
you know what I mean? And he said, thanks to people like you and specifically your channel, I don't have that fear to go. And guys, that filled my heart with so much joy, because this place is amazing. If you haven't been here, you got to come. And of course, you have to be careful no matter what you're doing.
Every part of Mexico is special.
Every part of Mexico is special.
It's different.
And every part of Mexico has danger. Just like every part of the United States is special. And just like every part of the United States has danger. That's all I have to say. Let's see here. Lunar eclipse. Have you guys checked out the coffee shops in downtown Morelia Arcade? When you mention arcade, I'm a little bit confused. Are you talking about the actual shops that have arcade machines in them? Because we've seen those. And we haven't went in them, but we've seen coffee shops that have arcades, if that's what you're talking about. But we haven't been in there. We have hit up coffee shops, definitely. Just not that specific one. Mike R. Are you friends with Bill W?
Who's that?
What's the W stand for? Is that Bill, I'm blanking on his name.
Bill Dallas?
Bill Dallas,
You know,
yes.
his name is, that's not Bill.
Yeah, who's Bill W? Please let us know, Mike. Alejandro, fried pig's feet in Numaran are awesome. It's near La Piedad. Thank you for letting us know.
I haven't had pig's feet in a long time. I do like pig's feet.
Brittany will check that out.
Yeah.
Because we're actually going to be visiting La Piedad soon. We'll be there soon. Gringos are us. If you don't like humidity, skip Merida. We're going there Sunday, and it is muy caliente. Sí. Entiendo.
I already know that, because the reason I want to go there is because it's supposed to be the safest city, in Latin America. Actually, the second safest in North America, if I understand. Second to Quebec, something like that. And then, the safest in, Latin America. But just because I want to see it, I've heard about it. I already know I'm going to have to be in the air conditioning. I will be living in the air conditioning, and then the air conditioning in the car, and then I'm going to have to go to the pool. The pool, the air conditioning, and then the car in the air conditioning. That's how it was it's
going to be Puerto Vallarta all over again. Like when we know why so many people move to Merida, all right?
It's safe.
It's safe. It's safe. We get it.
We would probably be living, honestly, in Merida if it wasn't so hot.
Ungodly hot.
Ungodly hot.
We understand, but when we see people who live in Merida who only do their video, or when we hear from people's experiences, or when we see the people on YouTube who have been to Merida and they're doing their videos at like 4 in the morning or like 9 o'clock at night, I'm exaggerating a little, but because the heat is too hot, I ain't looking to live in the air conditioning, man. I don't want to be living in a safe place, but trapped in my house. I don't want that, man. So I'd rather take an unsafe state over being trapped in a safe state with air conditioning.
It affects your quality of life.
It affects your quality of life. You don't even want to go out and do stuff.
No.
So Gringos are us. Thank you for that. Thank you for letting us know.
Who is Bill?
So Gringos are us said stop describing the U.S.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah, we do need to stop. We need to leave that back home. Lunar eclipse. Have you guys gone to, how do you pronounce that?
Which one?
Jaripeo.
Jaripeo.
Jaripeo?
Jaripeo?
We have
Am I
not.
saying it right? Jaripeo?
We have not been there.
No, where is that?
Yeah, I'm not even sure where that is. Gringos are us. Double A is Bill W. Double A. Double A?
We don't know who he is.
Not sure who Double A is.
Oh, there we go.
Lunar eclipse. No, the old arcade walkway across the street from the cathedral. You know what? I know we've been across the street from the cathedral, so we must have been there. It's probably in our Morelia videos. I just don't have a, immediate thought of remembering being there. But we must have. We must have. Oh, AA is Bill W. AA is Bill W. Gringos R Us says Alcoholics Anonymous. AA, Bill W. And no, have never been to Alcoholic Anonymous. Never needed it. Never needed Alcoholic Anonymous. Oh, okay, let me see something. Are you friends of Bill W? Okay, are you friends of Alcoholics Anonymous? Is that what was being said? Yes. No, never been to Alcoholics Anonymous, never had a need for that. We just decide not to drink. That's just basically what it is. It's just a personal choice. Again, if I start drinking again, my waistline is going to go through the roof. I was like I said, 300 pounds at one point. And so I would not want to go back to that. Very unhealthy, used to party all the time. And so I just know my life is better without the alcohol. Does it mean that I'll never drink again? I don't know what the future will bring, but right now I like my physique more than I like alcohol, and I feel like that's healthier for me mentally and physically. Antoni, how did you say that again?
Jaripeo.
Means rodeo. It means rodeo. So have we been to a rodeo here? No.
No.
Never. Never been to a rodeo here. I'm sure there's plenty. I mean, in Mexico, there's always things going on. Man, what was the city that you just saw the other day? Was it Tamaulipas, where they were having all the parades and stuff?
That was Uruapan.
Oh, Uruapan. Man, we saw an article on Uruapan the other day, and man, it looked so fun. It really did. It looked like a blast. There's always amazing stuff going on here. Really is amazing.
All right, everybody. So I think we covered everything.
We don't have any more questions on our paper. And unless you guys want to drop some more questions in the chat, we'll probably head out. It's been about an hour and close to 40 minutes. So in case you guys don't have any other thoughts, it was such a privilege being with all of you. We're having such an amazing time. Forgive my horrible pronunciation. Guajolotas are fried tortas that are sold in Numaran. Man, I must be sounding like a 2-year-old talking right now. Not keto friendly, but great guilty pleasure. Fried tortas.
Sounds good.
Sounds amazing.
Let's have that.
Anything fried is incredible, right? But guys, do you have any other thoughts or any other questions? We'll give you like another 30 seconds if you want to drop some in the chat. And if not, we will let you guys go.
Safe travels, guys. Keep up the... What does it say?
Keep up. Antoni, safe travels, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your support and your kind words. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for the comparison video. It was so helpful.
Oh, good. I'm so happy to hear it, Cindy. Thank you, Mike, Antoni, Cindy, Gringos. Thank you so much. Very happy to have you guys here. And we'll talk to you all in the next video.
And we also want to say thank you to all the new subscribers and all the new viewers. And thank you for the loyal subscribers and you guys have been watching us from day one. So thank you, everybody, for all your support and constant support. And thank you for everything.
Thank you. You guys all keep it up. Keep up. I hope all is well with you. And we'll talk later.
Thank you.
Adios.
Bye.
Nos vemos.
Adios.